All right, so we're going to move on to quadratic formula here. Oops, there we go. And the reason why quadratic formula is going to be important is while completing the square allows us to do the same thing, completing the square is a much more complicated uh, proposition to solve for a problem. So the reason we teach completing the square, though, it's going to be very necessary when solving for the equation of a circle or the equation of a parabola. So it is necessary to know how to do it. But in terms of factoring and trying to find an answer when something can't be factored, the quadratic formula is always easier. So if you do have the choice, we're going to want to use the quadratic formula. Now, all you need to do for the quadratic formula is you need to get your trinomial into ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 form. So it's got to be equal to 0, the trinomial, before you can plug in the quadratic formula. But literally, that's it. And the quadratic formula, it may seem complicated down here, but literally we're just plugging numbers in. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And I believe it's put in right here, and then I write the formula again on our next page. But this is basically how it works, is we have a trinomial that's set equal to 0, x squared plus 7x plus 4. Now, with completing the square, your number in front of x squared had to be 1. Well, it's 1 here as well. That's not the case with quadratic formula. That a term can be any number. And our a is 1, b is, if there's no number in front of the x squared, we assume it to be 1. Our b is a positive 7, and our c is a positive 4. All right, we keep the signs with the numbers, and we don't include an x with them or an x squared or anything like that. It's just the a, the b, and the c. Okay, and now we just plug in. So negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 7 squared minus our 4 times 1 times 4 over 2 times 1. So literally we plug the b in, we plug the b in here, and then it's minus 4ac. So I plug in 1 for a, I plug in 4 for c, and on the bottom it's 2 times a, so I'm plugging the 1 in for a. Negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 49 minus 16 over 2. Negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 33 divided by 2. When you divide, that division sign has to go under everything. It's not just the radical. If you notice, my division sign goes under everything. And there's my answer, negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 33 divided by 2. If we try another one, x squared minus 6x minus 10, notice the a is 1, but the b, the negative, comes with the 6. The sign comes with the 6. And then a negative 10, the sign comes with the 10 as well. So b is negative 6 and c is negative 10. The formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So that negative b means we have a negative negative 6, which turns into a positive 6. So because of the negative b, if your b is already negative, it actually just turns positive. Plus or minus, the negative 6 squared is going to be 36. Because anytime we square something, it becomes positive. And then negative 4 times 1 times negative 10. Now here we got to be careful. We have a double negative, so that turns into a positive. That's why this becomes 36 plus 40 and not 36 minus 40. So 36 plus 40 is 76. And we get 6 plus or minus root 76 over 2. I can simplify that root 76 using a prime factorization, which is something you should already know. But if you don't, we're going to go over that in a later lesson. But that root 76 becomes 2 root 19. So 6 plus or minus 2 root 19 over 2. And then I divide both terms by 2. 6 over 2 is 3. And 2 root 19 over 2 is just root 19. So my final answer is 3 plus or minus root 19. Let's try 2 more. So we have the quadratic formula on top here again. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And now my a is 1, my b is negative 3, and my c is negative 9. So the negative 3 becomes a positive 3 because we're plugging a negative 3 in for b, and the double negative now makes it positive. Negative 3 squared for the b, so negative 3 squared is 9, and then negative or minus 4ac. So negative 4 times my 1a times my negative 9. So once again, a double negative, so we're going to be adding there. So 9 plus 36 becomes 45. Root 45 simplifies to 3 root 5, but there's nothing I can do with the 2 down here. So my answer is 3 plus or minus 3 root 5 over 2. Oops, let's get back here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so the last one we're going to do here, 2x squared plus 4x minus 7 equals 0. My a is 2 now instead of 1, but we do the same things. My a is 2, my b is 4, and my c is negative 7. So this becomes a negative 4. There's no double negative anymore, so it stays negative 4 throughout. Plus or minus my 4 squared, which is 16, and then negative 4 times 2 times a negative 7. Once again, another double negative, so I'm going to add. 4 times 2 times 7 is 56. And 16 and 56 is 72. So negative 4 plus or minus root 72. And notice on the bottom here, it's no longer 2 times 1, it's 2 times 2. You got to plug your a in, so you end up with a 4 on the bottom. When I simplify the root 72, it simplifies to 6 root 2. And now negative 4 over 4 is negative 1, plus or minus, well, 6 over 4 reduces to 3 over 2 times root 2, and that is my final answer. Hopefully this helps with the notes that'll be up on Google Classroom. So you'll have the notes and my explanation. Good luck with it.